Hey everybody, Jake Reichbart here. Today I'm going to share with you a lengthy lesson excerpt. So have your guitars ready and we're going to have some fun together arranging a song. Perhaps you've seen some of my many hundreds of solo guitar arrangements I have here on YouTube, and the inspiration for these arrangements is right here behind me, as you can see. I grew up with these vinyls, and I draw pretty much from any kind of style imaginable from the pop music of the past 100 years, everything from Glenn Miller to Van Halen, Alan Holdsworth to Motown, and pretty much anything in between. Beatles, I have perhaps 25 Beatles song arrangements, 20 Steely Dan song arrangements, same for Stevie Wonder, rock, hard rock, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, and of course tons and tons of classic jazz standards from the 40s and 50s, bebop, dance tunes, movie themes. And if you want to learn how to arrange any of these songs for solo guitar, I can teach you. Just like the excerpt that you're about to watch, which comes from a lesson that runs about 90 minutes, I have nearly 200 additional titles, and they are mostly song specific. I enjoy teaching through specific songs because I can show you hands-on how I approach arranging a song. What's nice about these lessons is that I don't just tell you, do this and you're done, but rather I'll take you through 3 or 4 or 5 different ways to play the same passage. I'll work with you on dynamics, on articulation, and 100 other things that you cannot just put to paper. As I mentioned, these lessons run approximately 90 minutes. The introduction, which runs usually 15 minutes, focuses on the right hand and rhythm, and in this introduction I go through my 3 pillars of rhythmic arranging, the first principle being melody and bass only, the second being rhythmic arpeggiation, and the third, of course, the down stroke that I play with my right hand fingernails to produce that backbeat that everybody asks me about. Nevertheless, I do have 2 main method lessons. The first one, how to arrange any song for solo guitar, running 2 hours, and also an introduction to fingerstyle guitar and solo guitar arranging, running 2 hours and 40 minutes. The information about these lessons, the cost, my full lesson list, as well as a link to the full performance of the song that we're working on today is below in the information. So expand the information, take a look, and let's get started. The introduction to the song is made up of 3 actual chord positions. 2 of them are relatively easier to play. The third one, quite difficult, I'm sure. So I will offer an alternative to that particular position. These 3 chords, 3 positions basically are all based on 2 chords, a B flat major and a C major. Harmonically speaking, these 2 chords belong in the key of F, meaning that later on when we improvise or create new alternative chord positions from these, the notes that we will use to borrow from are going to be from the key of F. So it's not that the song is in key of F, but we have a temporary chord progression. I mentioned this in the introduction that this tune has a harmonic richness to it, and we are temporarily. It's possible to view the song as being in the key of D in some ways, and sometimes a song doesn't have one constant key signature. It goes through different temporary tonal centers. These 2 chords, in the introduction, the B flat and the C, borrow their notes from the key of F, and that's all you need to know right now, and later on we will elaborate on those. The positions that I've chosen are as follows. So we're finally getting into the arrangement itself. The melody is the that's a D note, of course, on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, played with that rhythm just like the original recording. And the chord that I use to play is kind of a B flat. These 3 notes outline the triad: the B flat on the 5th string, 1st fret, the F on the 4th string, 3rd fret, and of course the D that we already mentioned. But in addition, I also pluck the open G string, One of my favorite guitaristic things to do is to play fretted notes while also hitting some fretted notes with open strings. A blend of those really highlights the beauty of the instrument. So that's what's happening here. I'm playing a B-flat triad with the fretted notes. And in this case, the open G represents the sixth. This is the major 7, the A, and that's another B-flat. That's a plain B-flat triad, but I'm leaving the G ring open, and I'm kind of plucking them together, and I'm inside this voicing. I'm playing the rhythm on that melody note. And I'm playing the bass and the chord notes less frequently, but every time it might be slightly different. So sometimes I might arpeggiate, sometimes I'll play that in a block fashion. Moving on to the next position, these two notes, the bass note and the chord note, the B flat and the F, move up a step to be playing now a C and a G, 5th string 3rd fret, 4th string 5th fret, but instead of moving all 3 notes up, which would mean an E on the 2nd string, I want to maintain the D, because that's how the part goes. So what happens is that although my first finger continues to play the bass note, I switched my fingers around to be able to accommodate that change. So now I'm playing this note, the note on the 4th string, with my 4th finger, and now my 2nd finger reaches to play the D on the 2nd string 3rd fret. And I continue to play the G on the 3rd string, and that very slight, inevitable detuning between these two G notes, they're never quite exactly the same. It creates kind of a chorusing effect almost, and hearing them ring together from the same instrument sounds quite lovely in my opinion. So at this moment exactly, I'm playing the notes C, G, another G, the open G, and here's the D on top. Put together, these two voicings. It's the same rhythm. However, when I end this phrase, there's a little melody. E, F, E, C. I have chosen a very difficult position to play to outline that because I wanted these two notes to ring together, and that's why I said that I will offer an alternative that is a lot easier to play, but you don't get that open string. But nevertheless, if you can play this voicing, that's great, and that's why I'm going to demonstrate it. So basically, we're still on the C chord, and the melody, like I said, is E, F, E, C. Except in this case, I'm playing the C or the E and the F on separate strings, so they kind of blend into each other. So that F rings all the way to the end. I find, again, a nice guitaristic thing you can do to let the notes ring at the same time. So for one thing, you can use this fingering. So now I'm playing on the bass note, the C, I'm playing it with my 2nd finger now. And these two notes, the C on the 3rd string 5th fret and the E on the 2nd string 5th fret, are played with my fingers 3 and 4. And my first finger is stretching down to play that F. This is not what I did. I took my 4th finger and created a partial little, you can also do it with a third finger. That's a really difficult stretch. But I use my third finger to play these three notes, what would be the C triad, the G, C, and E. But I don't lay it across all the strings. I leave enough room so that I can, underneath it, hit that F on the first string while holding down the bass, again with my second finger. So it sounds like this. But again, you can play this. The other, much relatively easier solution is to simply not compromise the melody, but you won't get the blending effect, and that is simply to play a C, to play the chord like that. You can do it with a slide, or you can finger the chord like this. Then the pinky can reach for the F and let go, and then you pluck out the note. So it's still based around this triad. Alternatively, you can play the same triad here, but with the first finger, and then the bass will be with your fourth finger. Then you play that movement with your second finger. So you got this option, this option, this option, this option, and this option, which is what I did. Regardless of what finger you end up choosing, the total effect of this introduction sounds like this. And the second time you stop, one, da, na, 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 and that's when you play those pickup notes, which really are the pickup notes to the downbeat of the next measure. If you have difficulty, I did something that I found myself doing, which I don't know how I ended up doing on the video, but after I finished playing this, I found myself not being able to catch the chord all at once. Sometimes I manage, sometimes I don't. What you want to reach for is the first thing that you're going to play, and the most important thing you're going to play. So that would be the melody. So in this case, I just found myself playing this first, and then I added. So let me demonstrate that introduction one more time. Play it really slow.